The Milky Way is the galaxy that includes our solar system, with the name describing the galaxy's appearance from Earth, a hazy band of light seen in the night sky formed from stars that cannot be individually distinguished by the naked eye. The term Milky Way is a translation of the Latin via lactea, meaning milky circle. From Earth, the Milky Way appears as a band because its disc-shaped structure is viewed from within. Galileo Galilei first resolved the band of light into individual stars with his telescope in 1610. Until the early 1920s, most astronomers thought that the Milky Way contained all the stars in the universe. Following the 1920 Great Debate between the astronomers Harlow Shapley and Heber Curtis, observations by Edwin Hubble showed that the Milky Way is just one of many galaxies. The Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy with an estimated visible diameter of 100,000 to 200,000 light-years. Recent simulations suggest that a dark matter disk, also containing some visible stars, may extend up to a diameter of almost 2 million light-years. The Milky Way has several satellite galaxies and is part of the local group of galaxies, which form part of the Virgo supercluster, which is itself a component of the Laniakea supercluster. It is estimated to contain 100 to 400 billion stars and at least that number of planets. The solar system is located at a radius of about 27,000 light-years from the galactic center, on the inner edge of the Orion Arm, one of the spiral-shaped concentrations of gas and dust. The stars in the innermost 10,000 light-years form a bulge and one or more bars that radiate from the bulge. The galactic center is an intense radio source known as Sagittarius A, a supermassive black hole of 4.100, plus or minus 0.034, million solar masses. Stars and gases at a wide range of distances from the galactic center orbit at approximately 220 km per second. The constant rotation speed contradicts the laws of Keplerian dynamics and suggests that much, about 90%, of the mass of the Milky Way is invisible to telescopes, neither emitting nor absorbing electromagnetic radiation. This conjectural mass has been termed dark matter. The rotational period is about 240 million years at the radius of the Sun. The Milky Way as a whole is moving at a velocity of approximately 600 km per second with respect to extragalactic frames of reference. The oldest stars in the Milky Way are nearly as old as the universe itself and thus probably formed shortly after the dark ages of the Big Bang. The Milky Way is visible from Earth as a hazy band of white light, some 30 degrees wide, arching the night sky. In night sky observing, although all the individual naked-eye stars in the entire sky are part of the Milky Way galaxy, the term Milky Way is limited to this band of light. The light originates from the accumulation of unresolved stars and other material located in the direction of the galactic plane. Brighter regions around the band appear as soft visual patches known as star clouds. The most conspicuous of these is the large Sagittarius star cloud, a portion of the central bulge of the galaxy. Dark regions within the band, such as the Great Rift and the Coal Sack, are areas where interstellar dust blocks light from distant stars. The area of sky that the Milky Way obscures is called the zone of avoidance. The Milky Way has a relatively low surface brightness. Its visibility can be greatly reduced by background light, such as light pollution or moonlight. The sky needs to be darker than about 20.2 magnitude per square arcsecond in order for the Milky Way to be visible. It should be visible if the limiting magnitude is approximately plus 5.1 or better and shows a great deal of detail at plus 6.1. This makes the Milky Way difficult to see from brightly lit urban or suburban areas, but very prominent when viewed from rural areas when the moon is below the horizon. Maps of artificial night sky brightness show that more than one-third of Earth's population cannot see the Milky Way from their homes due to light pollution. As viewed from Earth, the visible region of the Milky Way's galactic plane occupies an area of the sky that includes 30 constellations. The galactic center lies in the direction of Sagittarius, where the Milky Way is brightest. From Sagittarius, the hazy band of white light appears to pass around to the galactic anticenter in Auriga. The band then continues the rest of the way around the sky, back to Sagittarius, dividing the sky into two roughly equal hemispheres. The galactic plane is inclined by about 60 degrees to the ecliptic. Relative to the celestial equator, it passes as far north as the constellation of Cassiopeia and as far south as the constellation of Crux, indicating the high inclination of Earth's equatorial plane and the plane of the ecliptic, relative to the galactic plane. The North Galactic Pole is situated at right ascension 12 hours 49 minutes, declination plus 27.4 degrees B 1950, near Beta Comae Berenices, and the South Galactic Pole is near Alpha Sculptoris. Because of this high inclination, depending on the time of night and year, the Milky Way arch may appear relatively low or relatively high in the sky. For observers from latitudes approximately 65 degrees north to 65 degrees south, the Milky Way passes directly overhead twice a day. The Milky Way is the second largest galaxy in the local group, after the Andromeda Galaxy, with its stellar disk approximately 170,000 to 200,000 light-years in diameter and, on average, approximately 1,000 light-years thick. The Milky Way is approximately 890 billion to 1.54 trillion times the mass of the Sun. To compare the relative physical scale of the Milky Way, if the solar system out to Neptune were the size of a U.S. quarter, the Milky Way would be approximately the size of the contiguous United States. There is a ring-like filament of stars rippling above and below the relatively flat galactic plane, wrapping around the Milky Way at a diameter of 150,000 to 180,000 light-years, which may be part of the Milky Way itself. The Milky Way contains between 100 to 400 billion stars, and at least that many planets. An exact figure would depend on counting the number of very low-mass stars, which are difficult to detect, especially at distances of more than 300 light-years from the Sun. As a comparison, the neighboring Andromeda Galaxy contains an estimated 1 trillion stars. The Milky Way may contain 10 billion white dwarfs, a billion neutron stars, and 100 million stellar black holes. Filling the space between the stars is a disk of gas and dust called the interstellar medium. This disk has at least a comparable extent in radius to the stars, whereas the thickness of the gas layer ranges from hundreds of light-years for the colder gas to thousands of light-years for warmer gas. The Milky Way consists of a bar-shaped core region surrounded by a warped disk of gas, dust and stars. The mass distribution within the Milky Way closely resembles the type SBC in the Hubble classification, which represents spiral galaxies with relatively loosely wound arms. Astronomers first began to conjecture that the Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy, rather than an ordinary spiral galaxy, in the 1960s. These conjectures were confirmed by the Spitzer Space Telescope observations in 2005 that showed the Milky Way's central bar to be larger than previously thought.